Hello, welcome back to Breeze GIS. Today we're going over a tutorial inside of QGIS regarding the Python console and the iface function within QGIS. We're going to be looking at an introduction to the layer manipulation methods that you can do with iface inside of the Python console. So right now I have QGIS pulled up and I've put up just a map here for fun of the US, and I have the Python console open. If you're unfamiliar of how to open the Python console, you can press Control Alt P to open and close it. Otherwise, you can go up here to this button and click on the Python console and access it through there. So starting off, we're going to be using the iface function in QGIS. So if you're unfamiliar with iface, you can type help iface to look at all of the different methods you can use. iface has a lot of different methods for improving and making more efficient the workflow within QGIS. There's lots of methods for layer manipulation and accessing tools and menus and lots of different quality of life features in there. But what we're going to be looking at today is just an introduction to some of the layer manipulation methods within iface. So to start, I'm going to clear this, and using iface, I'm going to first create a layer. So we're going to create an active layer. So I just named it layer 1, and I'm going to do iface dot, and it's just iface dot active layer with parentheses, and that makes layer 1 the active layer that we're working with within the Python console. So an important note is pay attention to how these methods are capitalized. An active layer, the L is capitalized, but the A is not. The next thing we're going to do is, let's say for my extent, if I'm way off somewhere and I have no idea where my map is, I could click zoom to layer. But an alternative I could do is I could, inside of the Python console, I could just do iface dot zoom to active layer, parentheses, and boom, and I can just press that and it will automatically zoom me back to wherever my layer extent is, just like that. So another thing you can do, there's lots of cool little zooming functions within iface. One of them you can do is, if you want to go back to a previous extent, you can do iface dot zoom to previous, parentheses, boom, and it will take you back to whatever previous extent you were at, which my previous extent was the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to hit it again, and then I'm going to hit it again. And you can essentially, what zoom to previous is, it's like a control Z button. It's like a backspace extent button. So if you ever get lost or you accidentally move your cursor somewhere and you want to get back to the previous extent, you can just do iface dot zoom to previous, and it'll take you back to whatever previous extent you had. So that's pretty handy. So back to looking at your layer, the next thing we're going to look at is how to pull up a couple of menus. So iface also has the ability to pull up some menus. So we can do iface for whatever the active layer is. Show. The first one we're going to do is we're going to do show attribute table. So, and to specify the active layer, we're going to do, or whatever layer we want to work with, we're going to put layer 1 in there, and it'll pull up the attribute table. So instead of going through the little menu over here and opening the active layer, what we can do is we can just do iface dot show attribute table to pull it up for whatever layer we want. Or another one we can do is show layer properties. And then we do that for layer 1, pull it up, and then boom, we have layer properties. And so you can do that for any of your layers. And you can just, use the arrow keys on your keyboard to navigate back. So if you want to go back to the attribute table, one, you can open it like that, and you can do that for any of your layers. And so these are just some more efficient ways using Python of how to navigate some menus in your layers, that can make the workflow a little more efficient. But it is ultimately up to you however you want to navigate QGIS. But that is a simple introduction into iface and some of the methods that you can use for layer manipulation and opening some menus within the layer that you desire. So I hope you were able to learn something, and I plan on having some more of these Python QGIS tutorials in the future. But I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. I hope you learned something, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you, and bye.